Hello everyone, welcome back to Remington Outdoors. Today, I have a Remington Model 81 chambered in 35 Remington. Let's take a few shots. Definitely works. Let's give you a closer look. Before we do more shooting, let's get a little bit of history and information on the Model 81 series of rifles. This rifle shares a lot of similarities with the Browning A5 series of shotguns because it was designed by the same person, John Moses Browning. It has the same humpback design. The side profile is very similar. The rifle is a long recoil operated rifle. This here is not actually the barrel, it is just a barrel shroud. Inside here there's a spring. You can see here that the barrel sticks out a little bit at the end. This piece actually reciprocates, if I can do it with one hand. It's very tough to do, but what happens when you shoot, this front piece of the barrel that's separated here comes all the way back and helps to cycle the action. Before the Model 81, there was the Remington Model 8. The only difference between the 8 and the 81 is the wood used on the rifle. The 8s had thinner forends and straight English-style stocks, while the 81s have the semi-pistol grip stock and a little bit thicker of a forend. FN also produced the Remington Model 8 and 81s, and I believe they were the FN Model 1900. Allegedly, they saw very, very limited use in some parts of World War I, but I cannot confirm or deny that claim. On the left side of the rifle, we have Remington, the serial number, and then the Woodsmaster Model 81 stamped into the rifle. This particular rifle was manufactured in March of 1948. You can tell by this date code here. You can see ATT. The date is determined by the 2 to 3 digit code on the barrel, the first letter A being March and TT being 1948. A lot of people really liked this rifle. At least two people that didn't like it would be Bonnie and Clyde, as the Model 81 series was one of the rifles that was present at their ambush. I believe it was Frank Hamer that used one of these rifles during the ambush to take down Bonnie and Clyde. Another person who would have really liked the rifle would be famous President Teddy Roosevelt. Allegedly, he took a Model 81. I don't know whether it was an 81 or an 8, but he did take one to Africa, and I believe he used the 35 Remington cartridge. He liked having a bigger cartridge in a semi-auto capacity instead of having a bolt or a lever action. He was also famously used his .405 Winchester in Africa in a lever action. But I think that's enough talking. Let's get back to the range and do some more shooting. Just wanted to give some thanks to the greatmodel8.net. That's where I got a lot of my information and took some pictures off their site. When I first got my Model 81, I did some research on their website and just think it's a really cool little site with a lot of different information on the 8 and 81s, cool pictures, stories, all kinds of stuff. So if you're interested in learning more, go check them out. Back to the video. To load the rifle, first take the safety off, open the action, and it does have an internal magazine that is not detachable, although there are some Krieger conversions and different gunsmith conversions that make this magazine detachable and replaceable with a new one. But to load, take one round, put it on the top, push down. And this particular rifle holds 5 rounds. We'll load it up with 3. And then, to chamber around, pull back, and release. A common problem I've had with this rifle is failures to extract. Push this round back down into the magazine. Let it forward again. Now I'm going to set up a target down at 50 yards and see what kind of accuracy I can get out of this thing. Five shots right here. Looks like we're shooting a little high and to the right, but for 50 yards with iron sights unsupported and a gun that old, I think that is pretty acceptable. I got my shooting bags out. I'm going to try to get a little bit more accuracy on that target, but first let's adjust the sights. To adjust the sights, I'm simply going to lift the sight up and bring this ramp forward to lower the sight. Brought it back to its lowest elevation. I'm going to go set you guys up by the target. Now that's a better looking group. Now we're going to try to break this piece of wood like we did in the last video with the 44 mag, except this time we're going to use the 35 Remington. Let's see if it fares any better. Firing in 3, 2, 1. It didn't split it, but it sure was a clean pass through. Let's try it long ways this time. Firing in 3, 2, 1. Dead center hit. No exit. I don't see an exit on any of the sides, so I think we caught the bullet. Now I've got a piece of wood set up here and 3 jugs filled with water. Let's see how much energy the 35 Remington has once it passes through that wood. Firing in 3, 2, 1. It sure looks like it still had a lot of energy. Passed through all the water jugs with no problem. But something kind of cool, you can see the entrance on the last one. And we have multiple exit holes. The bullet did break up and we actually caught a few pieces of it in this jug. There's one little copper shard. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.